And I got
All right, here we go.
hold on a second. Fur babies are acting up. I had to put them in their place.
I was like, kick the one out in the hall and the other one's in here. Because if they're together, they'll start growling at each other and stuff.
Get in here and lay down, Hershey. I don't know, man. They got a ball of fire in them. I need some of that energy. All right. Well, we are live. Tonight, our guest on the Fish Talk is LJ Shrimp. Thank you for being here. Also, Paulie for being the co-host, as always. Appreciate it. We're going to go ahead and go through the hellos real quick. Excuse me. We had Scotty Aquati in here first. Also, Doc Anthony. He said he'll be watching in spirit. Whatever the heck that means. He must be going to take a nap. You know how he's getting old and stuff. But there's only 24 hours to help with the Arkoff donation and it's pendant to talk. They are at 90%, which is freaking awesome. Also, as he said, do not forget about the GoFundMe for Dusty. I do not have that link. If there's other mods in here that could post that. That would be great. We also had Rico stay and slip in here before he went to go spend family time. That's awesome. Professor Fish Tanks. Eric Y. Rock. I cannot speak today again. Kalish, how are you doing? TJ Autocross. Let's see. We got Jeff Kane. How you doing, brother? Linda Worth. And we're at the bottom of the chat. Other people will probably start showing up. You know how the notifications are, so we'll give it a minute. But I'm going to go ahead and show on the screen here the Amazon Research Center thing real quick. We're going to knock this stuff out of the way so we can get into talking to Laura here about her, what she does. All right, there you go. They're at 90%. They have $9,095, almost to their $10,000 mark. Today is the last day, unless tomorrow they're going to let it run for a little bit since he said 24 hours. So that's pretty great. I'm going to hide a comment here. So please, if you have the money, if not, that's okay. I get it. This is a great thing that they're doing for the kids. All this money's going toward that cost and other operation stuff going on there. She's typing like a maniac. But all right, we got a few more people come in. Dave Jones, how you doing? The bipolar fish keeper. Sometimes I feel that way. Night Owl Aquatics, Bruiser CB. Ask Rachel. No, your wife's name's Renee. Nice try. All right. So, Laura, you mainly keep shrimp.
Yeah,
mean,
I
that's
do a
just
lot of
a-
shrimp. I have some killifish and some miscellaneous this and that too.
I was just guessing to see if that's what you kept. I wasn't too sure.
Shrimp's the big thing. Like no one around here even knows. They're like you eat or you can keep shrimp, and like they have no idea. It's so funny.
That's crazy. Well, you don't. I mean, a lot of the fish stores around our area, because you do live like close, like 30 minutes. They don't sell that. They don't sell shrimp. They do, but they're not.
Yeah,
To me, they're not really great.
I've seen
Especially-
some Neos, and their prices are just. It's like $10 if you want a blue shrimp. It's like crazy, just ridiculous. And I honestly did start with a red one from like Petco. But of course, once I did more research and decided I really liked them, I started getting them from more reliable people like Mark Shelley. I got a couple by beginning years from them. I got my first Caridina from Kyle Poseidon Pets, and I got a bunch from Grant Eater. And recently I just added Silhouette on, and they're doing amazing.
They are. Them ones are pretty awesome. They are a freshwater shrimp, right?
Yeah, they're freshwater, but it's the complete opposite parameters of the Caridina. So Neos are just tap water shrimp. everybody can keep those room temperature tap water pretty easy, at least most people with decent water. Sometimes it takes a few tries, like even Latoya, like she had me to guide her and she killed off the first batch and she figured out her water was just that bad because she had city water and she ended up adding some bottled water to it. Then you can usually move into tires, which are a little more sensitive, but still can be kept in tap water, but they breed a lot better in Caridina parameters. And Caridina is you have to use special soil to lower the pH. You got to use RO water with minerals. I mean, you don't have to for all of them, but that's the preferred method. So they do a really low pH of like 6.0, still room temperature. And then you get in the Sulawesi now. They're an endangered shrimp. They're only found in the Sulawesi lakes. And they need a really high pH. So you're talking like 8 and 84 degrees is the recommended temperature. So wow. It's bath water in there. And they're even harder to keep, supposedly. Mine are doing excellent though, and I have a ton of them right now. But I can't like ship them or anything because they need the high temperatures for the winter time.
That's just crazy. It's like acid water. Man, these things.
Well, it's not acid. If it's high pH, it's caustic.
The low pH ones.
Oh, it's low pH, yeah. Because like my water is running low to mid 6s, so it's good for Neo. I keep cherry shrimp, and they're in a planted bowl. I can't have shrimp in anything else because I have all cichlids.
Yeah.
They're gonna be somebody's lunch. So they live very happily in a 4-gallon bowl with some endlers.
Wow.
Yeah, usually you can do about 10 shrimp a gallon, which I found that's actually pretty accurate because I had a 5-gallon that had some shrimp in originally, and it did cap out right around 50 shrimp, I'd say. And then I had to move them up to a bigger tank.
Huh. So I had issues because I wanted to try them. And I found out that I pretty much have freaking RO water coming out of my tap because I also live in town. And if you would see this water treatment facility, it might as well be a freaking RODI unit with superpowers. Like, this thing is nuts because I used to be with the borough a little bit, and I got to see it, and I'm like, whoa, this is crazy. No wonder, like, it strips everything. So I have to add GHK to my water. And I also have to have aragonite also is what I add to my water to help buffer that up. So, that's how I had to figure out. And that's just to keep, like your cherries, your blues and stuff like that, your blue dreams or whatever. Man, I'm still having to figure that out. But because of my water, it's hard. So I try. Whenever I figure it out, I keep doing it that way with that tank. So just one of those things. It's trial by error for me.
Yeah, they make minerals for all 3 kinds of shrimp. So, I mean, you're probably best just, if you're having real trouble, I have an RO buddy. It's like $60 or something on Amazon or something like that. I think I got it on sale. And it does plenty of water. And I have a whole rack because you can't mix them. So I have like all these racks with all these 10 gallons because you can't mix any of the shrimp. But I told my husband's like, why do you need all this? And I'm like, well, if I was a normal person, if I just had one tank, these would all actually fit into one tank. But you got to keep them all separate and everything.
Yeah, they're gonna start breeding.
You get some crazy colors.
Yeah, that doesn't work.
Skittles.
Skittles tank, mine still, like, I'll pick out the oddballs and throw them into a Skittles tank with some other fish and stuff. And they do good in there. They do great. But you do get a lot of wild colors. You're not going to get your nice, pretty, pure colors. Like, you still have some in there, but not as much. But it's still a nice tank and everything to look at. You just don't have the bright colors.
They don't. Whenever you do that, don't you get like the browns and stuff that come out like a darker?
Yeah, they're kind of like, I don't even want to call them browns. They're more of like a cleary, I guess, kind of a brown, but they're a lot see-through. But you get some really cool like stripes and dots and things like that on them. So they still have some cool colors, and patterns to them. They're just not, you're not going to get your bright primary colors.
Oh, okay. Well, that makes sense because you don't want. Okay, so you definitely want to keep them separated if you want to keep them like that color. If not, they're going to start fading out pretty much.
Yeah. Now the
Bring-
Caridina, if you want to get into the big bucks with those, you actually do want to crossbreed them, and they don't make it like a neutral color. Those you get all kinds of different patterns and stripes, and I can bring up a band and they have like a $200 per shrimp on sale all the time on there. And those
Yeah.
you actually want to crossbreed and get the different colors. So it depends on the shrimp.
I recently got on band and try to remember the name of that one that he has. Like one shrimp is like $100 to $200 some dollars.
Yeah.
And I'm like, wow, that's beautiful to look at. I ain't throwing that away because I would ruin it.
Plus, it's only going to live for like a year. But technically, like if you watch a lot of Grant Either's videos, he'll actually tell you how to do that. And after several generations, you can technically make all those different shrimp.
I just remembered the name TB Shrimp is who I follow to watch that cool stuff, but that's about it. I'm gonna look at it. I just can't do it. There was a question by Geek Boy. He goes, what is room temp in this context?
I just have mine in my house, just house temperature. That's room temperature to me. So it's not
Like the
where I'm
7.
living, I'm comfortable. Like right now, most of them are in a fish room and it is a little warmer down there. I do have them in a separate area in my basement where I do have the heat turned up a little bit because I do have killifish also in there. But I have ones up here in this room right here to the side, and I never use any heaters in any of my shrimp tanks, except for the silhouettes because they have to have a high temperature.
I'm keeping those cherry shrimp 68 right now
Yeah.
in the house.
They have a huge range of parameters and a huge range of temperatures.
Wow.
That tank's completely unheated. So
Yeah, I want to dive in a little more on shrimp, getting to learn those because I've been seeing that stuff, and it's more and more prevalent now that you can always find something to learn them better.
Yeah, and it's two different ends of the spectrum too, because I'm in like a lot of the fish clubs and stuff, and they don't want to deal with mutts. They want pure lines and things like that. So them, you want to get like different kinds, like the Silhouette. There's like tons of different types of Silhouette shrimp, and I have the one with the cardinals with the white socks you see in the videos dancing all the time. And but when you get in the Caridina, when you do the big shrimp shows and like the $200, $100 shrimp per shrimp, those are actually all mutts. They're all bred together to get those colors and those design combinations.
Wow. It's crazy. Thank you, Jeff King, for the $2 super chat saying hi, Matt, and welcome back, Matt, from you walking your dog. I just saw that earlier, and there was a few more people that showed up. Whip World's here. Why are we always yelling? I don't know why we're always yelling. It just happens. And I think, Susie Q came in. She will not be streaming after us. She's been under the weather. And there's Nancy B in Tennessee. I always like to say from because it sounds right, even though it's wrong.
yeah, a lot of people under the weather. Looks like the Rona has decided to show up again.
Yeah, it did. It's back. I can tell you that. Geek Boy says his house goes from 68 at night to 72 in the daytime. Mine, I try to keep, especially in the wintertime, at 72. This tank is not heated at all, mainly because I have the pellet stove in this room. So it's up to 74, and that's without a heater. It's actually like that. It's like that in the summertime, too, because the air conditioner is right in the wall behind behind the computer here. So about 72, that's pretty good. 68, that's not too bad then, since it's working. But now so you do have a website. I'm going to bring that up here if you want to talk about it a little bit. It's winter time, so she ain't shipping. But if you read it,
You still look at the pretty pictures of the shrimp. But I actually did a little too much last year with Clash and everything. That's actually my shrimp, a picture of my different colored Neos. And so I kind of oversold a little bit. So right now I'm trying to recoup all my Neos and everything. And the only thing I have an excess of is the Silhouette, and you can't, you just shouldn't send because they need 84 degrees. So, but my Red Riding Hoods are in big demand right now. I actually had a waiting list because Mark Shelley got some of those, and of course, word spread about them. And not a lot of people have them. They're a little bit different. It's just a really with only the red head.
that is pretty neat looking. And that is a Neo. So that's
Yes.
pretty crazy.
You've seen the Rillies, which had the clear stripe in the middle. It's kind of the same thing, just a different version of it. But they do breed pretty true, which people didn't realize at first. They're like, oh, you just get those occasionally with your Rillies. I'm like, no, this is an actual line I have.
Now, did you work on that line yourself, or did you find them and kept them going?
I got them. They weren't the greatest, so I did work on them. Occasionally, you will get a call out of it of a regular Rillie. And if you look, there's a tiny spot on the head. I'm trying to get rid of that clear spot.
Oh, right here. Whoa.
Yeah, so that's actually a little spot on that. That's another red coloring. It's clear. So I'm trying to actually get rid of that by breeding
That threw me off.
pulling out the ones that don't have as much red on the head.
Oh, okay.
Work in progress, but still, it's still pretty neat because it's something different.
Yeah. I never seen it until I got on your website. I was like, where'd that come from?
I had them at Clash and they didn't sell much. And like I said, Mark Shelley got some and Grant Either got some. And all of a sudden I had all these texts like, oh, I want some. And I like, well, I can put you on the waiting list. I'm just a person in a house. I'm not like a dealer. So I don't have like tons of them all the time,
Well, you don't have 480 shrimp tanks in there with them
right
all in it neither. So, heck, they may be up to 500 now. That's crazy. But when this is what you do, you kind of need them. Hey, hello, Stephen P. How you doing, bud? So you got some Caradinas.
Yes.
Do you have any Caradinas that are not on here that you're working with?
Yeah, I've just recently got Blue Bolt babies, and I think they're my favorite Caradina now. They are absolutely gorgeous. It's just a nice light blue, but it's like a real solid blue. It's like a not see-through or anything with white.
Okay.
And I also have Red Steel, which are kind of like a peachy colored shrimp, I guess you could say. And I recently got babies off of them too. So they're still like I got 1 or 2 babies right now. That's it. The first time I've had babies with them. So hopefully by spring I'll have some more of those and everything too.
Oh, that's pretty crazy.
But I actually, for the crystals, it's funny because the more expensive ones are the ones with more white and less red. But I love the candy cane pattern. That's my favorite. So I'm like, I kind of don't want the more expensive ones because I like the cheaper ones better.
Yeah, and then your blacks are like a candy cane you get from Hershey. You get the Hershey candy canes.
And my Tangerine Tigers got second place at Clash. My Blue Bolts, which just had babies, got first place.
Well, there it is. There is the medal.
And that's the one Grant's like, there was this one shrimp and it wouldn't let go of the tube and I couldn't get it off and it was pregnant and carrying eggs and I didn't want to shake it too much. And that was that shrimp. And it came home and it still had the eggs and it ended up having the babies back here at him after the whole way going to Clash and everything with them.
That's pretty good. That's pretty good. Because that could be a rough ride, especially whenever we went home that Sunday. It was
breathing and stuff.
It was nasty.
It was crazy. The wrecks that I seen on the turnpike. Oh my gosh. And here's your, I don't know how to say it.
Sulawesi.
Sulawesi. Oh, okay.
And there's a whole bunch of different kinds of shrimp that are from those lakes, and they're all different types. But this is
Oh,
the
really?
cardinal, and they're also known as like white socks or dancing socks, things like that.
Which
And
is
that's
very
actually
cool.
a pregnant one. If you look there, she has eggs on her.
Yes, she does. Man. Now, what the heck was that other one? Hold on a minute. We get to it.
That was an ope ula. There's our Hawaiian shrimp, and I don't have a lot of those right now, but they can live up to 10 years.
What?
Yeah, they're from Hawaii. They live in brackish water pools there. So what you do is you set up, and they're small. They're like maybe a third the size of your regular shrimp. So they're pretty small. They look like a baby of your regular neos and stuff.
No kidding.
And you put them in brackish water, but you never have to change the water or do anything. You top it off with RO occasionally. I have a tiny filter in mine, but you don't really need one. You don't feed them. You don't do nothing. You just put them in there and let them go.
What do they eat?
They'll eat algae on the side of the tank and stuff.
Okay.
So you want to set up your tank and leave it a little bit. They're so small that they need like almost no food. You know.
So it needs to be a pretty well-aged tank then.
Yeah, or get the starting one. I have some Malaysian trumpet snails will actually go in the brackish water too, and have some of those in there. So there's enough algae on the sides of mine that they're eating that. At most, I might give them a tiny sprinkle of flake food maybe once a month or something, but it usually just clouds up the tank versus doing anything. But
okay.
they actually literally will sell these in closed containers in some stores and stuff.
That's pretty crazy. So they just stay that small their whole life.
Yeah, they're small. And what's neat is they don't have like full developed babies like the other shrimp. These have little like nymphs and stuff that just float around in the water for a while, and then they eventually develop into the shrimp. Because they're enclosed, though, it's real easy. You just let them go, and they don't predate on their own babies. And
kind of reminds you of the whole sea monkey thing.
Yeah, kind of like that. Yes.
Whenever you're a kid, some sea monkeys.
And these range anywhere from clear to dark red to a yellow, even.
Now, is there any plants in the tank with them, or are they just on rockwork?
No, that's aragonite on the bottom, and that's why I use my Sulawesi tanks too, because they need a little more calcium. And it's just there's 3 lava rocks in there, so I get a little more algae on the rocks with the crevices and things like that. And they just hang out in there. Don't do a lot. They're just tiny, but it's still neat because it's something different. Yeah. It's something anybody can keep because you just have the initial mixing the salt or brackish water to begin with. 1.010 is what I have mine at. And then you just let it sit. Like you just top off maybe for evaporation, but I have a lid on mine, so I rarely do that even too. So probably the easiest one you can keep.
Now, do you have the, are they under light or is it just natural light?
Yeah, I just did that. They're in a, it was a 5-gallon portrait, so the tall one, and actually tore the back out because I had like an internal filter and all that stuff. But with shrimp, you know, they get stuck in there and everything, so I just tore it out. So they have a tiny little sponge filter, which technically they don't need. It's on real low flow. And I have a glass top so the water can't evaporate, and then just a tiny NiCur light on top. That's it. You know, to just help the algae grow and the sides form.
Wow, that's just pretty amazing little wee little shrimp. Wow.
Wee little shrimp, yes.
Man. Then you have some plants.
Yeah, I have. There's a lot more than that, but yeah. I have pretty much a different kind of moss in every shrimp tank.
Oh, that's
so
neat.
I'm not a big aquascaper. I don't do any of that kind of thing. So I just throw in some wood and usually do some moss. So I have a lot of different varieties of moss. You'd love the hooker moss, which is kind of funny.
Yeah, I've seen it.
But it doesn't grow real fast. But I've had some here and there. So I've moved a little bit of that. Pilo grows like crazy. That's the one Mark Shelley uses. Java moss, I don't think is as pretty as the Pilo moss, and they're very similar. Yeah. And then I have a Singapore moss, which is a little bit darker. And then I have a whole bunch of other types that kind of don't grow as fast. So I have it, but I don't really have extras. Like if I do have extra, it goes to somebody I know, kind of thing like that.
Yeah. And then you don't sell food, but you have somebody that makes it for you. In chat.
Latoya makes all my stuff. I don't know. I didn't forgot to remind her, so she might have forgot. There she is.
She's here.
So I'm kind of her guinea pig. So she's like, oh, I made something. If she makes something new for shrimp, like the first idea when we started hanging out with the shrimp sticks, she's like, oh, here, give this a try. And I throw it in my tank, and either, they like it, they don't. What can we change about it? Make it better, that kind of thing.
That's good to have a friend like that. And like you guys working together, because you can help her tweak some stuff up. That's pretty neat.
Yeah, it's nice because we live close to each other. So we go to all the shows and swaps together. And neither of us have like a huge table display. So we each get half a table, usually go to a swap. Mm-hmm. And that's plenty of room for me to have a couple things of shrimp. And then she displays all her food. And then if people get shrimp, they usually get some food with it too.
It works out.
It's a monopoly.
Nice. That's nice.
They're cornering the market on shrimp.
And she has all the bigger fish and stuff, and I have all the tiny little stuff like the killifish and stuff, which you can't put them with anything else because they'll eat each other.
There's a question from Whip. I'm assuming he's asking for what, not about the Hawaiians, but with your other, what do you use for filtration? Is a Shark Pro too much? Or you just use sponge filters?
Okay, currently what I have is the double sponge filters, and you can get them cheap on Amazon. I think I just bought a 6-pack and it was like $15 or something. They're not very expensive. And what I do is I do have a Shark here, and I did use that at first, but then the more tanks I got, what I have right now is I have the Plawfly big pumps. And I have 2 of them running my entire rack.
Okay.
So that's 24 tanks that 2 of them are running. And I just have them, they're not the inline or anything like those regular pumps. But I have PVC running to all the tanks in with connectors. Mm-hmm. So it just makes it a lot easier. And my next upgrade is to get a big room pump, because I already have the PVC. I know how to run that. I learned that off Aquarium Co-op. They tell you the size of the drill and everything to use. It was very, very easy.
Yeah, it was a good video.
And I have the drops that go to each tank with the double sponge. I do have some smaller tanks, like 5 gallons or smaller, just have a single sponge one on them. But most of them are 10s, and they have the double sponge.
Yeah, those even that style of filter, that sponge is really fine, so you don't have to worry about
right. Which is nice for the shrimp, and the shrimp are always on the sponge filters picking at it.
Yeah, that's lunchtime right there.
Yeah.
Yeah, Whip, I have that Shark Pro, not for shrimp. It's strong. There's some even if you dial it down all the way, the flow is too strong for shrimp.
Is that the one that looks like orange, like a shark fin and stuff?
No, it's a Sicce, and the new one they have, it's double boxes. Well, the one I have what is it, the 550? It's a double box, and it's got a head on it. It's about that square around, and it's got a strong motor on it. It does. I have it in a 20 long, and that water is flowing around that tank like nobody's business. And I have it dialed back. It's not at full. It's not at full output.
Well, I have the drops on each of my.
Yeah, that one.
Oh, okay. I've seen that. I have adjustments on each PVC pipe where it comes out, so I can adjust all. But like I said, I'm running the pump through the PVC to do all the tanks. So that's definitely the way to go if you have multiple tanks.
Yeah, because that's basically a power head. And that is a powerful head on, and it's got so one box. If you got the single like that one, it's just sponge in it. But if you have the double, the 550, it's got this little. It's like a box you can put like biomedia in it.
Yeah.
So I just so that's where I put my biological media, but it's just powerful. It's a very powerful pump.
Yeah, shrimp just need light flow. They hardly do anything. They'll actually eat their own poop. So if you see them curling up, everybody's like, why are they curling up? They're actually
I
curling up
needed to
their
know
own
that.
poop because their digestive systems are so primitive. They actually go through them more than once. So their bioload on a tank is like hardly anything.
Never knew that. Boy, that's
For
something new.
Peters.
You learn something new every day, Skip.
That's pretty good.
It's better
Wow.
the second time through, right?
Yeah, no wonder you do less water changes with shrimp. They keep recycling. Wow. So how many tanks do you have up and running with shrimp?
Well, like I said, the rack has 24, but a couple of them are killy. So I'd say about 20-ish tanks with shrimp right now. And then I have 6, I think, different types of killifish, and then some miscellaneous other fish. I really like the Siluese shrimp, so I got some other critters from there too. So I have half beaks, which just have a ton of babies from Siluese.
Yes,
And I have the blue-eyed rice fish. A lot of people have those. Those are from there too.
Now, do you keep them all together in the same, like with them shrimp, or you don't do that?
No, the only thing I have in with my shrimp is snails. And the Siluese tank does have Siluese snails in there. They will do better in those parameters. And mine has had a ton of babies in there, the rabbit snails.
Okay.
And they're also endangered too. And people don't realize that because you see them in the pet stores and they're just grabbing them. But they're not breeding them. They're just using up all the resources. That's why they're kind of endangered. And half of them aren't even classified yet. So like the one I have doesn't even have a scientific name yet. It's just, they just label it as like the orange-headed, rabbit snail.
No kidding. I never knew that. So, do you think, and you got a bunch of them now? You said
Yeah, and they're not uncommon. You can get them at the pet store. These lakes, it's just a couple lakes on this tiny island in Indonesia. And they're exporting them so much that, they don't have the renewable factor to keep breeding as much as they're selling and that kind of thing.
Yeah, they're moving them faster than they can reproduce themselves.
Right, because you're talking about a really small area these are all coming from. That's why I'm excited that I bred those shrimp, because they're part of that classification that, in a couple of years, they might not even be able to find them in the lakes anymore because they just keep exporting and exporting and exporting them. And they're not simple to keep.
Window Licker's got a question, Skip.
Yeah, I seen that. That should be a no-brainer. Will tiger barbs eat shrimp?
Everything will eat shrimp. The only thing I have kept with shrimp, and I wasn't crazy about it, but it does work, is like bristlenose plecos.
Mm-hmm.
Don't really bother them too much, but they're such poopers that they just mess up the tank.
Yeah.
So, like, I had babies in with them for a while, but ended up moving them anyways because it just, messing stuff up. But Mark Shelley's had great success with that. And, of course, the shrimp will go through the poop and stuff, too, so they kind of like it. But to me, it was more a hassle. But I do have some in a separate tank that I keep, and I keep a lot of snails in there because the snails love the pleco poo. And I have one in here in my discus tank because he keeps all the brown algae off the sides and stuff. And there's not a lot that can handle the higher temperatures because I have that at 84 degrees too.
That's true. Wow. So, do you have any plans of events that you're going to be setting up tables to sell besides the Clash?
Yeah, we've gone to a lot of different swaps local. Pittsburgh has an auction that we usually go to, and it's huge. So we've gone to that. And Lancaster has a swap usually at the Pet Place. We've gone to that. And I've gone to one up in Williamsport. They don't really have a club up there, but there's like a group of people, and they have a swap twice a year. But usually as soon as I get extra shrimp, they're usually out the door, like going really fast. Because you can't get any of them around here. So when they find out someone has them and they're not charging an obscene amount of money for them,
Yeah,
people usually jump all over it.
that's good. I mean, you'd be the shrimp lady in central Pennsylvania, I guess.
Well, a lot of people are doing news now. So like a lot of the swaps, I'm not moving the news really anymore. But I still did enough that I'm not selling it again over the winter. But the Caradina, I went to the Lancaster swap and I was at the pet place and I was the only one with the Caradina and they were all gone in the first 30 minutes.
Yes, she was. That day you did really good there. That one's coming up in March 16th, I believe, St. Patty's Day weekend. CCY was supposed to be yesterday, but because of the wonderful weather that we got slammed with here and all the work that came with it, 8 inches of snow.
Yeah, more here where I'm at. I'm on the mountain. It's crazy.
It's that white stuff you used to play as a kid, Wally. You don't have it.
I forget. I don't. I haven't had to deal with it in so long. It's kind of just like went away.
Well, if they say you're in a state of emergency, you have a dusting of snow in North Carolina.
Yeah.
I know, they
shit. If snow is even in somebody's sentence, they shut it down. Get me? They don't have anything here to cover snow.
Yeah, I don't promise to go to anything and don't schedule. Like if the weather is nice and I show up to something, fine, but I don't say I'm going to anything between like December until like March. Like that swap in March will probably be one of the first things maybe I'll be going to.
Well, that's good. Get back out there.
Yeah.
And then, well, they moved the CCY one from yesterday to next Saturday, which is the 13th. And of course, they have their ACLC has their, like I say, their fall one, and so does the CCY. CCY, there was not much shrimp there.
Really?
Yeah.
Because at the other one, everybody had Neos. Like everybody. I took like 2 bags of Neos, and that's the only thing I had left at the end. But like I said, anybody can keep Neos, so that's that's actually a good thing. That means more people are getting out there, more people are knowing what they are.
Yeah, it's true.
Maybe somebody will get interested then in the harder ones. Like I said, I took some Caradina and they sold really fast.
I think people are getting into smaller tanks too. So.
Oh yeah, definitely. The technology now, you can do crazy things with small tanks.
When I started, there was no technology, so it was hard. It was hard getting. No, I didn't know of shrimp. There's no shrimp in when I was starting up. So
when he started, they had a hamster on a wheel running the air pump.
Yes. Actually, it was a little dinosaur.
A dinosaur.
Remember, I grew up with Fred's Flintstone, so we had no brakes. You stuck your feet through the floor.
Oh my!
I first had shrimp before I actually knew anything about shrimp and didn't even realize it. Like I just thought they were cool. I didn't know you could breed them or any of that stuff. And then it was like 3 years later when I found out, oh, you can actually breed these and raise these and stuff. Like if I'd known that, like when I first got them, then I'd been like an old bro by now.
Oh my, you probably have all kinds of stuff.
Jason, we didn't use clay pots back then. We just dug a hole in the ground and filled it with water.
The garbage bag is a liner.
Listen, I can tell. My first real fish, we went fishing up in upstate New York, and I brought home some sunnies, and we kept them in a stock pot on my back porch.
Yeah.
Seriously, it was a pot. Brought them home. I wouldn't let my father fillet them. We had to take them home.
So you put them in a stock pot that you're supposed to be cooking stew in.
Yeah. And I kept them alive for a few days. Then the cats got in it.
Well, you brought cat food in.
Yeah, I did.
Do you have any thing you're going to be working on this year that you haven't yet with the shrimp?
Yeah, well, first of all, I definitely want to get now that I've had success with my first Solo Este tank, and Cardinals are the easiest of those kind. I definitely got more because, like I said, a lot of them aren't like people don't even have them to sell and stuff because they're hard to keep and hard to breed. So I definitely want to get into some more of those. And I just found that whole area interested. So I really want to develop and get some more fish from that area also. But definitely the shrimp for sure. And you got to age the tank ahead of time because they don't eat food. So, Paula, you said about letting it age for a while. For the Silhouette, I think I let that tank age for like 3 months and get a nice green all over it because they don't eat any type of food. They only eat the stuff on the glass.
Yeah.
Huh.
So definitely want to do that. And another goal is I want to breed my own type of Caridina. So I have the crystals, the candy cane looking ones, and I have some blue tigers. And I want to try to make my own German pintos,
Cool.
which will have like a red head and a white body. Like German pintos are only in hobby, but I want to try to do it myself.
That's good. No, there ain't nothing wrong with that. Learn it yourself, and that's good. That's pretty amazing. Like with what you want to do, and with what Grant and Shelby and them already do, it's just it just blows my mind.
Yeah, all the genetic stuff, which I'm really into because my science background, I pretty much learned from them. And I love doing the research and stuff. So I have like a whole notebook full of notes and stuff from their stream. And he'll tell you how to do whatever you want. And I just think it would be neat to, not that it's not going to be a new line or anything, but it's going to be one I made, from scratch.
It's going to be your own version in a way.
Right. In a way, yeah.
Like you actually did the work to do it, which to me would be an accomplishment, right?
Yeah, like it's not going to be anything new, a new pattern, or it already exists. And I could just go out and buy them if I wanted to, but I kind of want to try to make them myself.
That could also help you, and if you want to ever make your own line to fake like you're doing it. We'll say, I'm not saying that it's basic because it's not for me, but say you're going to make a basic line out of what you know. Maybe you could figure something else out and make a brand new.
Yeah, because in the process, you're going to have to go through a lot of generations just to get from A to B, what I'm talking about. So in between, I might find something unique that I'm like, oh, I'm going to make a tank of this and see what, kind of like the Red Riding Hood that aren't that popular. And like I said, everybody thought they were just culls of red lilies and mine weren't. And I got them from someone else, but not a lot of people have them because it's something a little bit different. And my yellows too, like most people have the golden back yellows or the 24 karat with the line down the back. Mine aren't. Mine are Neo. They're just, there's no line on the back of them. So it's not any better or worse. It's just different. Like I want to do something different than the ones that everybody else is passing around.
Nothing wrong with that. That's great. I like that. I do. I really do like that. It's good to see people that they're wanting to do that. Like they know that stuff's already been done. You want to try it, learn from it, and then do your own thing. That's great to hear. I like that. Have you bought anything new this year so far in the new year? Did you buy something for the first, in January?
Someone made me go to the reptile show this weekend. But my husband's definitely afraid of snakes, so that wasn't going to happen. But they had Halloween crabs there, and ended up getting 3 Halloween crabs.
That's cool though.
They're cool. They fit in your palm of your hand, and they're bright orange and purple.
Is it one of these?
So, are they? So, how do you keep them?
Just on like corn husks and stuff, or not corn, coconut husks, and then they have to have a bowl of fresh water and a bowl of salt water. And they weren't what I thought of originally. Originally, I thought they were vampire crabs, which have similar colors, and those you can breed pretty easily in captivity. They just need area to go under the water. But the Halloween ones aren't. Halloween ones are the one you see swarming, like in Puerto Rico and stuff.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they have to fit in your
Yeah.
palm, but they're like really bright colors. They're really pretty. So I'm okay about that. But I looked up about breeding them, and it's pretty complicated where they have to go into salt water, and then they do like the little nymphs and have to grow. But that might be something I might be able to manage, because I kind of wanted to try to breed a monoshrimp, which is something that's not worth it because they're so cheap to get. But it's something the club was talking about, how they're really hard to breed because they got to switch from saltwater to freshwater and that kind of thing. So it has been done, and I've seen videos on it. Whether it's worth it or not, not really, but it might be something I want to do as a challenge. So if I could get these to carry eggs, and they said about if you can get the female that into a saltwater area and somehow the nymphs get on the plants and stuff, I might be able to raise them in a saltwater type environment. I mean, it'd be really hard, but it might be worth trying, I think.
I watched that video with them crabs over in Puerto Rico, and they actually shut roads down to let them go. Is it the red ones?
They're like, they have bright orange red legs, and then like a purple top.
Yeah, I think, well, it's probably the same family, but they do the same thing. Like, they're a land crab. They're in the forest, and then they migrate to the freaking ocean, and the salt water hits them, and the babies go off.
Right. That's what they do. They live on the land. So you pretty much keep them like in a snake or hermit crab type pen.
When them babies come back, no. Listen.
And then they go to the saltwater to breed.
Oh, man, it's a big infestation. It's crazy. You got to watch it. I watched on Disney Plus on one of their animal things that they had. I was like, wow. Oh, my gosh.
I'll skip it. I do have a plan, too, because I won that gift card on your stream.
Yes, you did?
So I was looking, and they do have a couple kinds of fish from Sulawesi. So right now, hopefully by the end of the month, I want to get this big pump and get my room circulated that way. And I'm looking at maybe getting a set of those fish.
That's awesome. That's great. I actually have three fish coming this month. Two of them I won in December, but because of the holiday shipping, it's kind of, you don't want to do it.
Yeah.
Delays will die. It's cold out. I'm going to go ahead and show them what they are. I've showed them one of them before. It's the CW 127 Super Parallelis Corridoris. That's a tongue twister for me, okay? So I'm getting this one. I'm getting two different blue-eyed rainbows. One of them's the spotted blue eye, which is beautiful. I got 5 of them for $30. This is why I say band is dangerous.
Yes.
Because I won fish from him, which are the blue eyes. These ones here. I'm getting some of these coming in, but I won them on a raffle. And I asked him, I said, do you have any more of the spotted? Because I ain't never seen them before. This is what gets me. If I don't see something, I want to learn about it and breed it and give out to other people. And, yeah, so I got 5 of those coming. So this was my first purchase of 2024.
He has a lot of stuff from Sulawesi, too.
What's that?
He has a lot of different stuff from Sulawesi on his site.
That was from Fancy Fin was that one.
You said Dan earlier.
Yeah, Dan does too, but these are from Band is where I got these ones from. The other one, this CW 127s, if y'all were at the class, he was there. Alex from up in New York City, he come down and he has some pretty crazy fish. He had some nice wood cats this year. See, Stephen, that's what I want to do, and I want to breed these, especially the spotted ones, because that's just something new to me. I ain't never seen them. I ain't even seen a video on them. which I'm sure they're there now because I saw it. But you know what I mean? It's just I've never seen them personally. I can't wait. They should be coming this week.
I do have one more goal I forgot to mention. I definitely want to try to breed a saltwater shrimp.
Oh, that'd be cool.
Supposedly it's not too bad. You just got to separate them.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think I even ever seen a video on that. Of course, I never really got into the saltwater, so.
Well, I'm not going to do the big setup with all the corals and that kind of thing. This is just going to be a shrimp only or snail only type tank.
Oh,
So
okay.
I don't have to have a lot of the high end equipment and stuff or something like that.
You probably get away with just a sponge filter in that.
Yeah, I'm figuring maybe a little bit of wave maker in it, and just some natural already live coral, and pretty much it. It's just be mixing up the water, which I mix up my water from other tanks anyway. So.
Oh, you already started with brackish. Do you have any saltwater at all?
No, I never did saltwater before. And like I said, this would be simple though if it's just like, no, there's not going to be fish. So you can just do like a pretty simple setup like Polly said.
Oh, man, that'd be nice. That'd be interesting to see some videos of that. That'd be pretty cool. I've seen some tanks where they just had like the shrimp, what are they, the peppermint ones?
Yeah, supposedly you can breed those. So
the peppermints
exactly
and then the snails. Them freaking snails look like rocks moving. It's crazy. I think it's pretty neat.
We go to Elmer's in Monroeville in Pennsylvania, and they have a nice saltwater section there, and they had like 6 different kinds of shrimp in there. It was crazy. Saltwater shrimp.
So Elmer's and I think I know where that is. Is that off of 22?
It's right on the main road, yeah.
I never got a chance to stop there. At the time, at the time,
you need to go to Pittsburgh with us, and we stop there every time.
Y'all gonna break my wallet. I already started yesterday moving stuff around the basement to do the fish room move, and I was looking. I'm like, oh my god, this could be a crap ton of tanks. I gotta not do that. Can't do that. No. But yeah, I have space. I just go slow with it. I don't want to. It's been a while since I bought some fish to where I needed to add more tanks, but I'm still good. I have space.
Yeah, see, I'm on hold. It's not because of space. It's because I'm running out of air is my problem.
Yeah, I want to get one of them air systems like you're talking about.
Oh, it's so easy.
Yeah. I've watched the videos that you have watched, the aquarium co-op and stuff, and I was like, man, this is pretty sweet. I need to do this.
Yeah, I just buy the connectors from them. They tell you what size of bit you use, and it's a little hard to get in there, but once you get it in there, you're good to go. And always have extra drops. Trust me. Yeah.
Because I know whenever we were setting it up at the Clash, one of them fell out, and I tried to put it back in. It took forever. Yeah, like Tom says, Gemco is your friend. Have everything.
Yeah, Gemco, but I think that's a little bit out of my budget. So Garden Eater uses the Elitas, and I can get a 40 to do my whole rack and then some. And I still have the other 2 I already have then for backup. You know, if something stops working, then I at least can run most of my tanks still as a backup on those.
Well, that's good. That's a good way to think with that. Because unfortunately, crap happens because the air on this tank, it's one of them, your Aqueon. Aqueon? No. Tetra air pumps with a dual outlet. The one side went. And luckily, I was able to switch it over and get my Zist filter going again. But I also have a hang on the back on this one too. But yeah, it's always good to have a backup.
Yeah. So he says like an Elita 40 will do 40 10 gallons. So that'll do a good bit of my room, for now. And then I can use one of my old pumps on the other side of the room.
Well, that'll work. Nice.
And I won't break the budget. Like eventually I'm going to have to get the big daddy. But for right now, I just bought a whole brand new computer, and that was definitely breaking the bank on that. because I don't do the little dinky ones. I do the big gamer computers.
You go big or go home, right?
Go home. That's it. Get that processing power going.
Oh yeah.
No drop frames here.
Well, you like to do a lot of gaming too, so that definitely helps
Right.
you.
I pretty much bought a whole brand new computer to play one game that went way over the top, and you had to get everybody had to get all new everything to play this game. So
That's crazy. Wow. I haven't played computer games in a long time, and I'm gonna keep it that way because that could get expensive. And I'm just like you. I ain't getting nothing. It's just right at the line. It's going above it
right.
because I don't
Over and
like
above.
it.
Overfiltration.
If I just wanted to do videos, I could do that on my iPad. I gotta do the
How
whole
about it? How about it? The dogs are going nuts. Nobody's here. Quit it. All right, we got a minute left. Unfortunately, Susie Q's under the weather, but it also in an hour at 8 o'clock, you're going to have Tennessee Fish Mafia, which I'll be there with them tonight. Also, there's Garcia goes at 8 o'clock. 9 o'clock, you're going to have Danikin. And I don't know if anybody's going on after him at 9. I know Thomas Griffin, unfortunately, had his own computer issues. I don't know. I haven't had a chance to talk to him to see if he got it fixed. I'd like to keep going, Tom, but I got other stuff to do before 8 o'clock. It's my intermission. I want to get some things done before.
I gotta pick some more killie eggs. Today's egg picking day.
Oh, before we leave, how did that go for you? You did a little video of a live stream of them hatching.
I got it hatching,
And
I cut it and then put it on there just of the hatching. So.
Oh, okay, that's cool. That's great. So go to LJ Shrimp's website and also her YouTube channel. Hit and subscribe. She has some stuff coming up. She's going to be showing you.
Stephen P. got it right.
Got it.
490.
Yeah, she knows. But to all the lurkers, mods, thank you for everything you do. The people participating in chat. Laura, for you being the special guest tonight. Appreciate it. Also, Paulie for being the co-host tonight. Laura, do you have anything to end with?
No, I'm good. Hi, everybody. Thanks for watching. It's my second time this week. So I've been busy. And I promise I'm going to try to get more videos now. My older son's back at college now. Actually, he should do videos for me because he's a freaking film major.
Give him practice.
I'm going to get more videos out.
You can get credits for that.
I know, just of me trying to do stuff here soon.
Oh, that's great. Paul, you got anything to end with?
Well, what would a new year be without staying fresh, cheese bags?
That's right. Stay fresh, you cheese bags.
Stay fresh. Keep your fish healthy.
All right, everybody. Thank you very much for watching. Y'all have a good night.
Good night, everybody.